All right, amigos and amigas. Obviously, everybody was out of town this week and couldn't make it. So thank you for those that could make it. I'm gonna give you guys some scorecards so you can look along with me. I will keep it relatively brief today. So here's the scorecards. It is a front and back. We're gonna go over the whole thing together. And your teammates can just literally pick them up on Monday. It's totally fine. And we'll get scores started, obviously, by Monday night. It's easy peasy. So just tell them to come in and grab them. That way you're not responsible for it. It's not your job to get your teammates' scorecards. All right. So first off, you guys that did not do part one, no big deal. We're making it where you can jump in and out of it. You don't have to understand. Every time we do one of these, I'll post the previous video from the previous one. So that'll get you caught up on part one. So when I send out the email today, you'll have Nutrition Challenge Part 1 video. So in case you weren't here for last time, so you can go back and watch that one at your convenience. That way you kind of understand the foundations that we built in Part 1. It's a 4-part series. So each one gets a little more technical. This one I think is the most difficult one, just because we have to track via Myfitnesspal. I think for some people that's kind of a hard thing to do every single day. But it's also the shortest one. This one only lasts like literally 4 weeks and that's it. So you only have to track your food for 4 weeks and then we won't have to do it again. I'm gonna give you guys some other options, okay? So, for those of you, I know everybody here, so we're good to go. If you guys have never met Glenn and Billy before, they are both new. Quite literally, Billy just joined last night. So, he finished up his trial. So, that's Glenn, that's Billy. They are not related at all. They just happened to start around the same time, so. I got to torture them last night. It was quite fun. All right, so what we're gonna do, this one is going hand in hand with obviously the first one. Our first nutrition challenge, we learned how to balance our meals. That idea is really simple. Each plate of the day had a protein, a carb, a vegetable, and a protein, carb, vegetable, and a fat. It's veggie or fruit, right? Those are interchangeable because they have a ton of micronutrients. So as long as you ate 3 to 5 meals every day, and your plate always had those components on it, good to go. That's awesome, and that's a great start. We had a ton of people say all the things like, oh, I've already lost weight, oh, I already look better, I already feel better, blah, 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 blah. That's awesome, but we are all very unique, and nutrition is a very unique thing. For the example I like to give is, look at an elite level marathon runner and their body type, and then look at an elite level Olympic sumo wrestler and look at their body type. These two athletes are both at the pinnacle of their fitness, right? They are the best of the best. Their calorie needs are completely different to function at the highest level. Does that make sense? That's a pretty dramatic kind of comparison there. Tiniest person in the world, biggest person in the world that function at a high level. Obviously, who do you guys think eats more? Sumo wrestler, right? Now, granted, the marathon runner probably eats a ton, way more than you would think, but to be an elite level sumo wrestler, I would assume this person's consuming over 6,000 to 7,000 calories a day, right? To be at that level. So at some point, we do have to look at our body type, how many calories you burn, all that kind of stuff, and like, what do I need specifically? So this one is going to start, part 2, the one we're gonna do right now. We're gonna start to dive down that rabbit hole, and we're just gonna go based off some basic generic algorithms that are just a good starting point. This is not the end of it. So I want you guys to keep that in mind over the 4 weeks. This is not where you're gonna stay or live. This is just getting used to building some habits over the 4 weeks. After the 4 weeks, we're gonna get a lot more customized and individualized. Does that make sense? So just hang in there for the 4 weeks. Yes, these numbers are quite generic, but we have to start somewhere. Like, how many of you guys, raise your hand if you know exactly how many calories you're gonna eat by the end of today?
How many you're supposed to eat? Or
No, how many you're gonna eat today? Like when you go to bed tonight, you're like, do you know?
16, 20.
Okay, good. I'm glad you said it out loud too, because that conversation is going to be the big like, oh shit, Josh. Like it's the same one every single time. So we're going to get into it. But Lisa had it's the same. It's every woman I know in the fitness space typically eats about 1,600 calories a day. It's awesome. You eat like a 13-year-old girl in a coma. It's cool. We're going to fix that problem once and for all. All right, so let's get into it real quick. Let's talk about how we get scored. You have 3 to 4 people on your team. Each one of those people has a scorecard in their hand every single day. You need to check in with each other via text, call, person, I don't care. Text is obviously easy these days and it's fast. We have 5 ways to get points. You have balance, protein, calories, never two, and Myfitnesspal. So let's go over those as a group so we make sure there's no confusion whatsoever. If you flip over on the back side of your page, there is a daily points guide. Thank you to my lovely wife for making our scorecards as always. On the back of that sheet, you can see how you get points for each one. Balance. If every meal you eat has a protein, a carb, fat, fruit, or veggie, you get a point for the day. Every meal though. No exceptions. Snacks don't count. If you're like, whoa, you know, I was kind of hungry and I had a handful of almonds, you don't get your points for that day. There's no snacking on this challenge because we're trying to create good habits. Later down the road, if your individual needs, caloric needs, call for snacks, I will give them to you. Does that make sense? But for right now, we're just all playing even field, right? So for right now, you don't get snacks. If you want a snack, you need to go make it a balanced snack. Does that make sense? It can be little. You still call it a snack, but it needs to have all those things included, okay? Next up, protein. This is new to this challenge. Your daily protein is 1 gram of protein per goal body weight in pounds. For example, if I want to weigh 185 pounds, I need to eat 185 grams of protein. Females, if you want to weigh 140, well, whatever, that's how much protein in grams you're going to eat every day. You're going to need to track that, and you have to prove to your team at the end of the day that you came close within reason. I'll give you guys a plus or minus of 10. Okay? So if your goal is 130, you can go anywhere from 120 to 140. I think that's fair. Gives you a pretty wide range to hit. Okay? Yes?
100 calories in the goal? Is that in this type or?
No, we'll get to that one.
Oh.
So protein, it's exactly how it sounds. So if you want to be 145, you need to eat 145 in grams. You can go down to 135, you can go up to 155. Next up is calories. Very similar. You can fill your caloric needs however you want on this challenge. First off, the protein is fixed. So however much protein you eat, that's already going to take up X amount of your calories. The remainder of your calories, I don't care where it comes from. Because if you're eating balanced, you have a carb, a veggie, or a fruit, and a fat, and you already have your protein portioned out, it's going to fill itself. It doesn't matter, okay? So we don't care about macros right now. It doesn't matter. You're just going to fill your calories with the rest of the good food. You get plus or minus 100 calories from your goal calories. So let's say Billy gets 2,900 calories. He can eat up to 3,000 and down to 2,800. That's his window he has to stay in to get his points. He has to take a picture and he has to send Myfitnesspal over to his team, and then they verify that he did it, and then he can check it off. Okay? Next up, the fun one, my favorite one, is never two. I did not create this one, but it is one of my favorite things ever. It comes from Nerd Fitness. Never two is one of the greatest rules you'll ever learn to live by in your life, and this applies to everything. Never two bad things happen in a row. Don't mess up 2 meals in a row. Never miss 2 workouts in a row. Never have 2 bad nights of sleep in a row. Never eat 2 shitty things at the same time. So that's why I call my sugar and alcohol the most dangerous combination on earth. If you're gonna drink beer, skip the cheesecake. If you're gonna have cheesecake, skip the beer. I dare you to do both, which you all know you've done it quite a few times. It's like throwing dynamite in your gut every time you do that. Both of these things are horrible for you, and when you put them together, there's no coming back from that. You might as well throw your whole week of hard work needs to go away, because it's gonna take you about 7 days for your gut to heal from the combination of those things, okay? So just keep in mind, sugar and alcohol do not go well together. All right? So never miss 2 in a row, anything. Workouts, meals, sleep, anything you've got going on in your goals, don't mess it up twice. It also goes hand in hand with the great saying that I really love, do the next right thing. If you mess something up, who cares? It's already done, you screwed it up, move on with your day and do the next right thing. So if you ate the cookie, eat the damn cookie and walk away. Don't eat the next cookie though, go eat the healthy thing next, okay? So do the right thing, never miss 2. Does anybody have any questions about that so far? Cool. All right, now let's get to the technical stuff because this is gonna take the longest. This part is up to you guys that are here. You get to ask the questions. I'll fill in the gaps as much as I can. Myfitnesspal is an app It's owned by Under Armour. It is the most comprehensive nutrition tracking software on the planet. It legit is the easiest thing ever to use. It can be frustrating at first. Once you've used it for a little bit, it is literally the most easy tool on the planet. It does not take me longer than 20 seconds to put a meal in it. I've been using it for a decade. Legitimately, I have 10 years worth of stuff on there. It's really cool to be able to go back and see like my weight and how many calories I used to eat. And I also started off eating like a 13-year-old girl in a coma. And I learned my lesson after 8 years of chronic undereating and never getting the body I wanted. Dude, I did CrossFit, I was a coach, I was a Spartan athlete, I've done everything. Never, ever, ever, ever did my body change. I stayed skinny fat the whole time. It sucked. I was so pissed. And I realized I was a chronic undereater since I was about 12 to 13 years old. So I'm 40 now, and I probably just learned how to eat really well about 3 years ago. So I'm telling you guys this stuff because there have been more studies on nutrition in the past decade than you can even possibly imagine by some really smart people at some really good universities. And what they found, the problem with our society is we are chronically undereating, and then on the weekends, we chronically overeat. Both of those are detrimental to your health. Both of them, contrary to popular belief, cause weight gain. Chronically underfeeding makes you store fat. Chronically overeating makes you store fat. Unless you hit your magic number in the middle, you are never optimal, ever. And that's why people get so frustrated in fitness, because they do fitness all the time. They do it for years, and they're like, dude, I kind of still look like I did when I started. Like a little bit of a change, but not enough, right? It's because we're not feeding ourselves properly and consistently. So I'm going to teach you guys how to do that during this one, okay? So Myfitnesspal, yes, you have to use it. There's no alternative. Download it, sign up an account. It's free, and you're going to log your food. It is very easy to use. If you guys have any questions, there are endless YouTube videos on speed tricks and everything like that to use it. And once you know the shortcuts, man, it's quick. You're not even thinking. While my food is in the microwave, I've probably already got 2 or 3 meals logged for the day. Does that make sense? It's that fast. It's that easy. Just pop it in and be done with it. Now, a couple things we need to go over. A lot of you guys have probably never weighed and measured your food before. So I want to make it as simple on you as possible. All you need is a set of measuring cups and a food scale. Really, really simple. You can literally just drive straight to Target right now. You're going to walk out of there for 15, 20 bucks, and you're going to have everything you need to weigh and measure your food, okay? You have to understand what quantity you're putting on your plate so we can put it in Myfitnesspal. If we're just eating blindly all the time, you're never going to have a clue how much you're eating, okay? So let's get into that. This is a good segue portion to get into, well, how much food should I eat? Angela, do you have your phone close by? I obviously can't use mine. I need to use your calculator, please, so we can do some quick math for some people. I'm gonna use a couple of you guys for examples, right? So, when we're trying to figure out our calories, like I said, this is extremely generic, but we have to start somewhere. The longer you go down this journey, the more individualized it gets, and the more you'll find your perfect macro ratios and calories and all that stuff. But when you're first starting, just pick a starting point and be consistent. That's all you got to do. Just do it for 4 weeks. I don't care if it's a little under, a little over. It doesn't matter. Stick to it and you're going to learn a lot, okay? So what we're going to do, I have some generic algorithms on the board. This stands for weight loss. This stands for maintaining your current body weight. And this stands for gaining, okay? So what we need to do, we need to look at where we are. How much do I weigh right now, okay? I weigh 178 pounds. So I'm going to put in 178. My personal goal is to keep gaining size. I've been trying to get big forever, and I just told you guys a story about chronically undereating for my entire life. So I've got all those years to make up for, so I'm probably gonna do like a 5-year bulk. I'm on year 3 right now. I've gained about 22 pounds. So I'm gonna go gain. I'm gonna start at the modest level, so 18. So I'm gonna do my body weight times 18. Okay, so 178 times 18 equals 3,200 calories. I'm going to go in Myfitnesspal. I'm going to go to goals, calorie, macros, and nutrients, and I'm going to change it. I'm going to change it to 3,200. And then I'm going to adjust my macros to where my protein, my goal weight is 185. I'm going to adjust my macros until my protein says something close to 185. I know I can go to 195. I know I can go down to 175. So as long as it's in that window, I'm good. My carbs and my fats don't matter because I'm just going to eat nice balanced meals. I'm going to fill up my plate. And when I finally hit my total calories for the day, I stop eating. Does that make sense? Pretty simple so far, right? Because we're just tracking it. Now, does anybody have any questions about how I got there and how I picked my protein? Because that's the only two things I care about. All I care about is that number and my protein goal.
So you plug that number into your Myfitnesspal.
Yes.
Doesn't Myfitnesspal distribute it for you? Like
The generic one's going to be a 40-30-30 or a 50.
Yeah, because I think you're right.
Is it 40-30-30? It used to be 50 some. It used to be 50 was the standard American diet, but 40-30-30 is awesome. That's a pretty good starting point.
So if we're not wanting to gain, right, we want to lose, we still times the, do we do 12 or 14?
So here's where it gets tricky. So you guys make sure you pay close attention. We have to be realistic, and that's why we're going to do this live. These are generic algorithms. They're just windows, right? So this is where it gets a little tricky. The more overweight you are compared to where you want to be, the farther off the algorithm gets, right? Which makes total sense, right? It's just easy math. Like the farther you are away from something, the more horrible that percentage gets. What we can do is we can look for commonalities when we're doing a starting point. So let's take this. Let's say I'm way bigger than I want to be, and my goal weight's like 50, 60, 70 pounds under. I'm like, oh crap, I'm going to get a very miscued number here. But there's commonalities between maintenance and weight loss. If you look at weight loss, the top end of the spectrum is 14. Maintenance, the bottom end of the spectrum is 14. If I take my goal body weight, what I want to weigh, and multiply it by 14, that's probably a lot smarter starting point because now I'm going moderation. I'm not going from this extreme over here to this extreme over here. That might be a 2-year journey. I need to do something that's a little more tangible right now. I just want to see 1 to 2 pounds of weight loss per week. I don't need to see 30 pounds of weight loss per week because then we're chronically under eating, and we're going to talk about that in a minute so I can finally convince you guys to not eat like you're in a coma.
So our
Goal. If you're trying to do weight loss, go by your goal body weight and start in that middle ground where it would put you in a maintenance and maybe a slight caloric deficit. And I'll explain why in a minute. But that's a great starting point. So let's just do, for example, what would be your weight that you're like, I would love to weigh that?
I want to weigh like 140 again.
Okay, 140 times 14. It's pretty low, but not horrible. So it's 1,960 calories. Still an improvement over your 1,600 calories, right? 1,600 we know is garbage. Like you can't eat that little. I would say 1,960 is still pretty low, but at least it gives you a starting point that's better than where you are. Are you going to need to eat more than that to get to your goal? Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. You're going to end up being 140 as a CrossFit athlete that works out as much as you do. You're going to have to be at the high end times 16. Your real calories will look more like 2,240.
Okay.
Somewhere around there. So that's a little more realistic. But let's start you, since you're only at 1,600, let's at least get you to 19. Let's live there for 4 weeks, see what your body does, and then we'll slowly creep you up after that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Babe, I need your face. I locked your phone. Sorry. All right. So does anybody have any questions about that? Hopefully that was pretty clear. So you take it. Yes.
So that doesn't really take into consideration how much activity you're doing, like Billy's working out.
Nope. That's exactly where the algorithm comes from.
Okay.
It's exactly where it comes from.
Okay.
This range it all comes from, it's assuming you're active.
Okay.
What I did was, in a generic world, there would be a bunch of these charts. And it would be by activity levels. I just simplified it for you. CrossFitters. This is our activity level. Okay. If you were like a sedentary person, these numbers would all be smaller. Yeah. If you were an elite level athlete, all these numbers would be larger. Does that make sense? I just made it simple for you guys so you don't have to think. Everyone here is a CrossFit gym. We all do CrossFit 1 hour a day, and we run, so we're good. All right, any other questions on that? How do we get that stuff? Good? All right, so earlier, how many of you guys, did you guys do the math real quick? Did you guys all kind of do it? How many of you guys are shocked at how many calories you have to eat to actually get your body weight? Okay. Yeah, of course, yes. So here's the 2 rules we want to live by. Not live by, but here's what I want you to understand, because education is the most important thing that we do here. Our whole mission is to educate, motivate, replicate. It's literally right on our wall. It's what we do. I have to teach you first why. If you don't understand the why, you're always going to fail. I can't just tell you to do something. I need to tell you why. Then I need to motivate you to do it. Said challenge. Give me money, find a team, go into the world and do the thing. And then I need you guys to replicate yourselves by encouraging other people to join you, because you're hopefully just your body enough walking around. Your friends are going to be like, oh, you look amazing. I need to go do whatever you're doing. That's the goal, right? You guys are walking billboards. The two things I was talking about early, chronic undereating and chronic overeating. Okay. Going anything above a 10% surplus of calories is probably not a great idea. For performance, it's awesome. 10% is pretty good. Chronically undereating by 30% is also just as detrimental and causes your body to store fat, because we are built for survival, okay? So if you chronically undereat, your body will chronically store fat all the time. It's always in a state of just hunger, and it wants to store fat because it thinks you're trying to kill it. Add CrossFit class on top of chronically undereating, now your body is absolutely going backwards in reverse. I don't know how any of us do it. And I'm super guilty. I'm not preaching at you guys. I'm coming at you from experience. I do not know how I survived CrossFit my first few years. I developed a really bad case of insomnia. I was very scrawny, and I did not get strong. Those are 3 bad things that happened, and I did not get fitter at all. I thought I was, but I looked like crap. My wife got way more jacked than me. It's very embarrassing, but it is what it is. You know who's not scared to eat? My wife. And she eats a lot more calories than most people think, and she's obviously lean and jacked and all that good stuff. So don't be scared to eat, guys. Eat your damn calories, man. Just make sure they're good. Follow the rules on the sheet. Nothing bad will happen to you. Gains will come, though. This nutrition program will produce PRs, and it's going to scare the crap out of you. It's also going to make you realize it's almost depressing in a little way, because you're like, if I would have known this when I started, I could have been better by now. And that's the frustrating part for me, is doing CrossFit the wrong way for so many years. And now at 40 years old, just smashing PRs and getting fitter every year. That's the frustrating part, is what if I would have done this at 29 years old? Where would I be? But we can't go back in time. So, really simple, guys. Kind of recap real quick. We have our 5 daily points available. We already went over what each of them are. You get a check mark for each one. Scoring system is very, very simple. On the back of the sheet, you'll have total points. So for the weekly challenge, which you guys know how to find those from last time, follow me on Instagram, EG Fieldhouse. Every Monday around 3 to 5 p.m., I sneak a little post in there. That's your challenge for the week. If you see it, you do it, you tag me in it, you got to video it though, so that's a kicker. I'm going to go ahead and throw week 1 out there so you guys understand where we're going on this one. You are going to visit a local butcher shop for your challenge for week 1. And you're going to order a cut of meat that you've never had before. There you go. Easy.
That's not
Easy peasy. A lot of people have never been to a butcher shop. I've had a lot of conversations around here lately, and I'm like, oh my God, this is scary. You guys have never had, like we ask people all the time, like, what's the best meat you could possibly eat? Does anybody know? Like, yeah, wild gamey stuff. So fish, same thing. Fish is wild and gamey. Salmon, fresh caught, right? Tuna, elk, bison, all the things we're meant to eat. What do we eat as typical Americans who go to the grocery store? Beef and chicken. Okay, neither one of those came up in the really good topic. So going to your local butcher shop and eating the things we were meant to eat is probably a good idea every now and then. Eggs are really good for you, obviously. I'm not saying chicken and beef is bad, guys. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying let's get out of our little comfort bubble and let's go get some real meat, put it on our plate at least once a week and see what happens, okay? So that's week 1 challenge. I won't give any more clues than that. All you have to do is tag me in a video, Elk Grove Fieldhouse. You in that, you can just take a picture of you in there. You can take a picture of the meat you bought from there. I just need to know it came from that butcher shop. However you want to get creative and do that, that's fine with me, okay? So at the end of each week, you'll just look at your tally marks on your page. You'll be like, all right, that's how many points I got, plus the points from a weekly challenge. You'll add it up. You'll get a total. At the end of the event, all I want to see, guys, on the back of this page, please make it easy on me this time. Just write a gigantic, big, fat number. Total. I do not want to go through every single one of you's day-to-day and challenges. Just give me a big old fat goose egg at the bottom when you're done. And when you turn it in, make sure your name's on it. What team you're on would be very helpful too. So like at the top where it says name, your name first, give me your other teammates' names so I know who you're with to make it easy, and I can score it a lot faster. This past one, man, I don't think I got the prizes out for like 8 days. I had to go through everybody's stuff and verify. I knew who the winner was, but I was like, you got to double check this stuff. I don't know. I don't trust you guys as far as I can throw you. So, and that's pretty much it, guys. Pretty simple, so get after it. All right, quick little Q&A session, guys, and I'll get you out of here. So we'll kind of work our way around the room. You guys, questions?
Who's Jessica?
Jessica Sherry Noglo. I'll introduce you via text message. I'll incorporate all you guys in a text line so you know who is who. So you'll have your teammate. She does personal nutrition with me as well, so she's already very savvy to all this stuff. So she already knows how to track and all that.
As far as the, so you said, like, we're gonna get points for balance, right? You said we need to take a picture of that and send it to our teammates.
You need to prove it somehow.
We need to prove it somehow.
Yeah, somehow. However you guys want to do that. I'm not your accountability partner in this challenge.
Right.
You guys are your accountability partners. Whatever you agree upon, it's fine with me.
Gotcha.
So it's your team. Do your thing.
Okay.
Okay, they do.
Workouts.
Hmm?
If it's hard to make it in here on Saturdays, can they be outside?
Anything you want, my friend.
All right.
Anything counts.
Cool.
So typically most of us don't work out on Sunday. Most people don't. That basically means never miss a Saturday, never miss a Monday. Like you kind of got to know that going into it, right? Like if you're like, oh, Sunday's my rest day. Cool. Saturday and Monday never are then. Make sense?
Yep.
It doesn't matter. Do whatever you want, man. Run, play with your kids. Anything counts, right? Be active. Just don't lay around the house all day and drink beer. From experience. How about you guys?
I don't have any questions. They're pretty much
Good, pretty simple. We just need to up your calories a little bit. That's it.
Yeah.
For you, it's not bad. It's 300 calories, right? Super simple. I'll give you guys one other quick tip before I get you out of here, just to make life really easy for you.
So we need to be working out 6 days a week.
No, never miss 2.
Just never missed it. Okay.
Yep, never miss 2. So like I rest on Thursdays and Sundays, but that's I just never have two rest days in a row. Oh, she dropped you guys all together. Pedro didn't want to do it? Pedro didn't want to do it? Yeah, Betty's not doing it because, personal reasons, but what's that? Oh, cool. Yeah, George would be awesome. You guys take George? George is cool. He does private nutrition. He does private nutrition too. He's on it.
I wanted him on
And Monica.
But I mean,
No, I'll text him. I'll tell him he's in. He won't. Yeah, he does nutrition with me. I'll just tell him, hey, this is what you're doing for weeks. He doesn't care. B, you got anything?
I'm going to the butcher, so my family's having a party.
Yeah.
Does that count as going to the butcher?
Hell yeah, dude. Now, let's try to keep the graphic content off the internet. Cool, yeah, that's perfect. Let's go for after the kill videos. But no, that's perfect, man. Yeah, it's just not. I just want you guys to like understand that like other things are out there besides chicken and beef, man. All right, does anybody have anything else? All right, so easiest way to do this, guys. It's not that hard. When I first started, I found a hack, a really cool hack, because I was like, oh my god, I have to eat so many calories. I'm chronically eating like 1,600 and I needed 3,200. I literally had to double my food like that. All I did, because I'm a nerd and I love finding the easiest way to do things. All I did was I took that 3,200 and I was like, how many times a day can I eat? Am I willing to eat? And I came up with, originally it was 4. 4 times. I made every meal in Myfitnesspal first. I would go on Myfitnesspal, use the ingredients from my refrigerator, and I would build 4 800-calorie meals. Then I would cook it, put it on my plate, and just eat it as fast as I possibly could to get through it. And I hit my calories every day, and then we saw the weight gain start coming on. Well, after a while, I got sick of eating 800 calories every meal, so I started adding a 5th meal, right? Got a little smarter. Now I do like snacks that fit. I do a post-workout. Any of you guys that were here a minute ago, I eat 100 grams of carbs after every single workout that I do, and it's just oats. It's just oats with a banana, blueberries, and it's 100 calories, or 100 grams of carbs. So it's an easy way to kind of cheat code things in there. I never miss it, dude. It's every single day, the same thing right after my workout. I don't care if I work out at 3 in the morning or 3 in the afternoon. Those oats come with me everywhere. They're so easy to prepare. So being prepared, putting the food in Myfitnesspal first, then putting it on your plate. If you guys start playing that game of if it fits your macros, it's a disaster. You eat a plate of food, then you're scrounging, putting it in there, and then you're like, oh shit, it's done, no, and you get frustrated, and I'm like, you can't pull it out of your gut. Put it in Myfitnesspal first, then put it on your plate. It's gonna make so much more sense. Try to just divide it by the number of meals you eat so they're all the same size meal. It helps a lot at first. This isn't forever, guys. It's 4 weeks. Just build these habits. I want you to see what this does to your body in a quick 4 weeks, and then we'll go individualized and we'll walk you guys down that line for the rest of the year. Okay? All right. Anything else, guys?
I have
Good?
a question.
Yes.
So I know like nuts are considered a fat, not a protein, but
Yes.
they have protein in them. Do they
Correct.
have a protein and a fat?
Yeah, so when you use Myfitnesspal takes all nutrients into account.
Yeah.
So let's say you need a nice balanced meal, but you're trying to divide your particular protein by 4. Yes, your nuts are gonna give you your fat source, and some of your protein, you're just gonna need another protein filler to total off your meal. Does that make sense?
I mean, like, as far as for this, every meal has to have, a protein, a carb, a fat, and a fruit or vegetable.
Yes.
So if you had nuts, would that count as a protein and fat? Is what my question
Let's say cheat code 3000. If you had nuts and an apple, and you put it in Myfitnesspal,
That's fruit,
it would
carb,
spit out
nuts,
fruit,
and
carb, protein, and fat. There's your cheat code.
Yeah.
So when I eat my oats, right, it's a balanced meal. I have blueberries and bananas, there's my fruit. I have oats, there's my carb. I have almond butter, there's my protein and fat. The macro ratios look pretty wild because it's 100 grams of carbs and 6 grams of protein.
But you need those.
But it is balanced as hell, and it works,
Okay,
right?
okay,
So,
just
yep,
make sure.
yeah, cheat code 3000, man. It's
Okay.
always a thing.
So I'm surprised by how many calories I have to eat. I
Yeah.
might be looking at drinking some of those.
Not a terrible idea.
Yeah. So like a whey protein powder.
Yep, so protein shake, some almond milk, throw some spinach, banana, and peanut butter in it, and you're welcome.
Okay.
Tastes delicious. And you'll be happy. You'll look forward to that shake every day. It's like dessert on the daily. We sell the Ascent protein here. The chocolate peanut butter is bomb sauce. I don't know if you like chocolate and peanut butter together. If you don't, you're kind of weird, but
Peanut
whatever.
butter. Go away.
Fair enough. But chocolate is obviously a thing.
Yes.
So yeah, doing that.
I
Yeah.
have one other question. So, I don't know. Okay, so sometimes can I possibly count my protein shakes as their meal?
As long as you add a fruit or veggie
Okay.
and a carb with it.
Okay.
So cheat code for that, right? Throw a scoop of nut butter in it, and then throw a banana in it, and you're covered.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep. Just don't do just protein and water.
Okay.
Have it with something
Yeah.
to
Okay.
balance you out.
All right.
Good. Cool. All right. Let's go out into the wild. Smash it, guys. Smash it. You guys get a hold of your teams today. I'll send out the videos later so they have them. And you guys that didn't do part 1, you'll get the part 1 video in there as well. I'll label it so you guys can watch that. But the cool thing is I'm not making you guys follow the terrible rules from part 1 because it was pretty bad. You couldn't have more than 2 ingredients in your food.
I could do that.
Yeah, if you eat whole foods, you're good to go. But this one, we're not doing that. This one's a little more like, okay, let's piece it out. Part 3 is gonna be fun though. All right, peace out, YouTube.